everybody. Proxy Table Gaming, PTG. I'm Hyper G, and I'm with Lucky-Sixes.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you. There's a reason for your attempted accent.
Sorry, I just had a bit of a second my throat.
It's the Scottish Championship.
The Scottish Championships. Was that good?
Look,
I don't know. I can't.
I'm not going to say whether that's good or not, because if I do, then
I think I nailed it, actually.
by association, I would be as guilty if I say whether it's good or not.
Yeah.
So,
and we travelled all the way to our dining rooms to speak with Scottish people. Kind of. Didn't, but no.
Some.
Yeah.
Some.
But yes, so this is actually, in a weird, rounded way, our first singles tournament in the UK scene, which is crazy, really, in about a year.
Since Art of War 3, yeah.
Yes, since real life stuff happened.
And other than Art of War 3 and the 3,500 one that Jordan does, which I forget, Brawl.
That was a one-off one, yeah.
That. Other than that one and Art of War, it's the first time me and you have been in the same tournament.
For a while.
No, we've never been in the same tournament other than Art of War and that one.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, there you go.
Because you've always gone to tournaments like TC and the Cardiff one.
Yeah, sure.
So
we're
both decided to give it a go.
Which does mean, though, that you guys have a shed load of content coming your way.
Oh,
we've got tons of battle reports.
Five rounds worth. Yeah,
both on UB and Warhol as well, for reference. Look out for those. Scottish Championships. First of all, we've been involved in a lot of other tournaments, obviously Masters and stuff like that before. But during COVID times, the new norm, it's our first one, so we're both quite excited to get involved.
Really excited.
And I'm up first. So a little background to my list, which will come up in a minute. I actually asked Twitter to choose for me, because I had three lists. I had this one that you'll see, vampires and warriors. I wanted to play with all of them, but you can't. So I got Twitter to choose, and it was quite unanimous, really. There was a bit of fight back from vampires, but Twitter chose beastheads. So again, something to follow if you want to see specific armies and stuff like that. Follow us on Twitter and all the Facebooks and stuff, because sometimes I run those polls and things like that to engage with you guys.
Spice it up a bit.
Yeah, man. So and it also means I can blame it all on you guys when it all goes terribly, terribly wrong, right?
And he will.
And I will, yeah, for sure. Well, that's why I mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
very good, very good.
So beastheads versus vampires.
This is 5,000 points at the Scottish Championship, which varies it up a little bit.
The differences between the regular tournaments, although actually a lot of the UB stuff have been different anyway, but is 5,000 points and has specific maps. Which we'll go on to when we get to that. But so that's really interesting. For me, with my beastheads, I chose Monster Mash, man. Monster Mash. So it's not actually too dissimilar to the list that you might have seen before. It was very much a variation of it because I've been playing it, so I kind of knew it. And for me, the beastheads is all about Krugar and the Centaur Chieftain. So I wanted to stick with that, although I did realise when you've seen all the other lists, all the Minotaurs in there. So I'm sticking to my guns. No Minotaurs yet. The Minotaurs will come, but just not yet. So otherwise, only a few characters, which allowed me quite a bit in the rest of things. So double Gortak, double Beast Giant, all that jazz. You got your Centaurs in as well. They're a bit new to the list, aren't they? You haven't really played around with them much. Well, I've got a big unit, but not a tooled up unit, I would say.
No.
So I have a unit of 10 with Lance Musician in my normal list, but I decided to make it bigger and give them a bit of extra oomph to them. I did originally have Banner of Speed. In my last battle report, you might have seen it with beastheads because I played Wes, but I swapped it out for Talisman of the Void on my Soothsayer because I just needed extra channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's my list. On to Shane's, and he is also known for his interesting lists, and he's got double double shrieking horror, one of which has a Strigoi bloodline killy ass vampire on it. Man.
I was actually looking. I was like, well, where's the other shrieking horror? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, man.
Jeebus.
And he's got 3 banshees for some extra screamy goodness. Which
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You'll have to, and the people out there will have to confirm. This could be the shootiest vampire list going. But yeah,
Yeah.
so really interesting. Double ghoul block, some zombies for scoring, and the rest, and a big unit of vampire spawn. We shouldn't negate them.
No.
But
2 units of 3 ghasts is interesting.
Yeah, they're just you will see the way he runs them. Just tough to shift. Res 5, 3 wounds each, and 5 up fortitude. It's pretty for a small unit. 106 is pretty decent.
That is. Yeah.
But yeah, it was frontline clash and breakthrough. So immediately,
Which was set, wasn't it?
Yeah. So this is so they're all set for different things.
Got
so I'm
4,500 there in the thingy. But never mind.
yeah. I've got that for all of them, I think. So
yeah, we'll have to change that, won't we?
Yeah, good spot.
I think I've done it for my round 1 as well, just so you know. So it's not.
That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with breakthrough being beast hairs. I've got these 3 over here, units to try and negate that.
Ambush.
Ambush and
breakthrough. Yeah, they are going to be crucial for the breakthrough.
And normally I drop for first, don't I? I mean, that's the thing. But I can't remember who did what for this one, but we'll see in the next turn. But basically, I wanted to group up everything together, BSB, General, and my Resitus Chariot to give everything +1 to charge.
Yeah.
And I think he dropped, actually. No, it's coming back to me now. He dropped for first because he wanted to push on me. So I went pretty defensively and put my guys like this. Just because there was nothing on the left-hand side, I put my giants and the chariots there just to basically zone a bit. But as you can see, there's a massive double wall in the middle.
Yes.
Which kind of negates my chariots. Silly me for not looking at the maps were available before army list building. But yeah, kind of doing that kind of... they could die when they charge, which is not what chariots like doing.
Although, to be fair, a lot of the maps were quite quirky.
Yes,
and other maps of later rounds had terrain features which weren't great for other types of units.
Yeah, exactly. So it's worth checking out the Veil Renegade podcast. Whispers of the Veil, I think they're called. With one of their segments, which I quite like, Fun with Maps with Ollie. So check them out. But yeah, this one is Breakthrough, and you have an English side and a Scottish side.
Yeah. And you've deployed on the right side as well.
Well, exactly, yeah. So yeah, a bit of healthy racism in there. So yeah, it's good. So yeah, basically, I set up defensively and wanted to zone him as much as possible, but making sure that I'm out of scream range of both of his shrieking horrors, because they will chew up at least 1 monster a turn just on their own, without magic, without all that stuff, and then he has still got magic to go along with it. So yeah, pretty interesting. So he moves up. Because of the way I deployed, he didn't move any of his scoring units over here up, which I'm really, really happy with. I don't really want to go into the ghouls, if I'm desperately honest, but I'm not, bluffing or whatever.
Poison.
But because the poison kills my Gore-Tex, it'll just smash me up.
Yeah, all he needs to do is roll 6 sixes across.
And he's 8 wide, so he's got 24.
Turn,
Well, I guess he'll have 16 attacks. But yeah, it could happen. So I don't really want to go in, but I will double charge if he allows it. And my centaurs are on the hill, so they get a reroll, and they're now movement 9 because of the race to chariot. So they've got pretty good range. And he sort of shuffles forward a bit. Doesn't really move forward much with anything. Doesn't really commit with anything, but moves his lord up as much as possible. So yeah, interesting first turn. In this unit, he alchemies one of the guys off with spear, I believe, or maybe
Silver Spike.
Yeah, Silver Spike. Oh yes, and it does 3 wounds, and that is exactly a quarter of my whole unit. And they panic and they run. I let it off because I was like, oh, he might not do 3 wounds, and he did. So that's just what happens. You can see some of the rolls here actually. I got to, double six. So it didn't. Double 6 was the panic test. But yeah, so happens. I've got one more turn to see if they can come back. Otherwise, that's pretty much 3 points for him. So I'm a bit gutted that.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I could have done was put him right over the other side and not been part of the battle at all. So
yeah, he's had to make an effort to get that shot in. So
yeah. Oh, it's worth noting that the giants I made drunk rather than vanguarding. I did really consider vanguarding, but I wanted to be fearless so they don't panic for any reason, which was the only reason why. So yeah, but there's an argument that they could have vanguarded instead, but yeah. In my turn, because they don't flee and they run off the board, and that's 325 points down. So yeah, there goes that's what happens when you play a bit defensive, though. If something like that happens, you're immediately up against the cosh. So
you haven't got far to run.
Serves me right. And as well, to be fair, oh no, that's what happened. He was in my flank, so I was able to get 4 wounds off.
I see. Yeah, I mean, I did wonder about that.
Yeah, because they've got 4 wounds each. So that was my fault for being allowing him a flank shot.
Yeah, because he killed one. He didn't do 3 wounds to one of them. He killed one. Did 4 wounds.
Yeah,
so,
I just remember they have 4. So yeah, so that's lesson in deployment. Because he did drop, so there's no excuse really.
Cool.
In my turn, I move up my giants, but really just shuffle around over here. I don't need a line of sight, true line of sight with my general. So I keep him behind the hill. Yeah. So I'm just within 24, I believe. But yeah, otherwise shuffling up, I'm just within 24. Whatever the shrieking horror plus movement plus thing range is of one of my Gore-Tax on both of them, because I'm like, if he comes in 1 and can only shrieking horror 1, he'll have to do both to make sure, and then I can just countercharge one of his shrieking horrors like that. Or his general is what I'm going for. So yeah, I am trying to bait him with that as well. I get magic resistance 3 on my Gore-Tax that's closest, and that's it.
Okay.
Because he stops all the Evo.
You didn't have any ambushes. Oh, she'll turn 1.
Yeah, no, none of them. Oh yeah.
She'll turn 1. Yeah.
So yeah, his turn. He moves up. Because I've sort of moved out of the centre, he's moved up fairly aggressively with his vampire spawn. Although secretly, I'm quite happy because that means he's not towards his deployment zone. And they can basically just chew up my.
Have you got a charge with one of the giants on the vampire spawn?
Yes.
You just don't suppose you want that, do you?
Not really. Also, he's against the wall. So he would get distracted.
Yeah, that's massive. Yeah,
I think I would go at the same time rather than going second, which is terrible for giants. So
yeah, getting on fires is a big no-no for giants.
Yeah, especially.
I mean, you saw against Wes.
Yeah,
if you don't hit, you're rubbish. So,
exactly. So yeah, no, don't fancy that really.
No.
So I'm a little bit leaving him, but I'm trying to either tempt him to come towards my main unit with everything. But yeah, so. Basically to clear the deployment zone, and he's doing that somewhat, so I'm pretty happy. He gets 3 wounds off on a silver spike on my chariots, but I pass because I've got the BSB and general there. But yeah, 3 wounds. I just let it off because I'm like, it's D3, maximum we can do is 3. I'll have a panic, but yeah, and he's just getting the max, So fair play to him. He arises some zombies because who cares? In my turn now, I do get one of them off, and I put them right in the top left corner, away from everything, hoping never to be seen again. So 1-0, yes.
Breakthrough, baby.
Yeah. In my movement, I move 2 of the giants up to be in the flank of everything, and 1 of the giants back just to keep him honest. That I cover some area over here. If he goes over here, fine, because I'll just move the giant away from them. I've got pretty good lateral movement, so but otherwise it's just staying back. Or I'm just staying back. Sorry, just because I don't need to force it with the breakthrough. I'm just hoping for a. I can't afford to go forward because if he comes at me with everything, he will just obliterate me. So I'm having to stay back. It's quite cagey, really. I get magic resistant 3 off. It's like a rinse repeat because he lets that off and just stops everything else, all the evo and that. In his turn, he moves up his bats to chaff my giants and looks at some counter charges. He also moves one of his banshees, screamers, which I forgot about, in a position to scream at my one of the giants. So that'll be annoying, and because he can scream every turn as well, so him being there is a bit annoying, really. Otherwise, again, no movement really. He's moving up inches with us, which I'm fairly happy with. I'm fairly happy that he's not moving all of his scoring forward, and he's all in one corner, which means none of his scoring can threaten my scoring. So I'm pretty happy with the way it is there. I'm not losing stuff turn by turn. Cagey, but I'm pretty happy at the minute. Again, he's got his guys on the wall, so that if I do charge this for any reason, then he's got the wall stuff, so I just won't charge. Does 1 wound with Silver Spike, kills 1 off, but I don't think that's panic actually. But if it is, I've passed, so no worries. Does 2 with his scream. I think it's D6 plus 1, or D3 plus 1 actually. His scream, but yeah. So plinking away. I'm not too bothered because it helps me out at this point, but I don't want to get it. I need to check myself, sort of thing. Onto my turn. I'll just move us to the bottom corner. Whoa. Yeah, I've moved on. I move up the horrid, shrieked giant right to the top to defend my
water
breakthrough.
feature.
Yeah, and the water feature. And just basically move the other giants thusly to be out of charge and to threaten a bit. Basically,
there really isn't much that you can do to pin down that spawn unit, is there really?
If he comes into this area, I have multiple charges, is what I'm trying to offer. But
he won't.
We'll see what happens. Again, I'm edging up on this side to pretend like I'm threatening on these guys, but really I don't care. He binding scrolls Touch of the Reaper.
I noticed a lot of binding scrolls going on. Yeah,
he's got 2, so yeah. I do get hasten the hour off for 1 wound. I think that is on him.
Okay.
And magic resistance 3. That Gore-Tex going nowhere.
Solid.
He charges here. So it's a long charge. And I didn't think about it either. So if he gets in, he's really close to my Wildhorns, who really can't take that. Even being double the cost, I don't think I could take that. But thankfully they failed.
Phew.
And he starts moving up a bit in the centre.
Yeah, I mean that ghoul unit is creeping towards your deployment.
Yeah. And again, so there's a few mistakes from my part. 1 was leaving the charge on. 2 was he was able to get out of my line of sight here. Which is just frustrating more than anything. So I can't multi-charge him because he's chaffed this one down here.
Yeah.
There's no counter charges, so I will at least get rid of his chaff at this point. But he's seriously threatening my my first scoring unit. Anyway, I do have others to potentially come on.
I suppose his vampire general was staying within range of the bats, which is another reason for keeping him back.
18 inches as well. So
yeah.
Yep. But yeah, ghouls are coming up to press for the objective as well. Nothing else happens though. So on my turn, I move up like this. So in a desperate attempt, because this is my turn 3, I think, or possibly 4. It's gone quite quickly.
I think it's 4.
4.
I think it's your 4.
So
because you haven't had any ambushers come on in turn 3.
No, and this is the end of my movement phase, and they haven't come on. So I'm left, and they lose
That's-
scoring now.
They lose scoring.
I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted because that was my gambit. That was my whole gambit.
It's why beast herds win breakthrough.
Yeah, so just couldn't roll a 3 up. Just the whole thing. So at this point now, I'm like, well, I've got to try and work out a way of stopping his Vampire Spawn going for my breakthrough guys. So I set up like this to say, right, if you get them, at least I get a double charge, whatever, on them, and can cause some wounds, maybe. Yeah. But it's not a great position. And if anything, as well, I'm trying to bait him into charging my giants just to hold that up. But yeah, it's just not fantastic, really.
He's frenzied, isn't he? With the
he is,
spawn?
yeah, and he keeps passing his frenzy checks to charge things as well. So there's that. But yeah, I'm just gutted because I would have been able to spread them out.
Well, you'd have fancied one of your ambushers to take on a unit of zombies and flank, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. But worst case scenario is I move them to the back and he moves one of his shrieking horrors.
Exactly, he has to deal with it.
I can push up on his other shrieking horror or his ghoul unit in the middle, for example. So yeah, I'm a bit frustrated at that happening because that was my game plan. I'm not gonna lie, that was my whole thing. Get a small win.
It's what beast herds have to do when they can ambush 3 scoring units into your opponent's breakthrough zone.
So interesting. And then I shuffle up a little bit with the right corner just to move everything so that they're useful. I don't charge the bats, interestingly, because I don't need to keep my giant over there, and I want to keep him this way to threaten the ghouls later on so that they don't come in. Because now I'm very close to losing the objective in this weird turn, like fate of events. So yeah, so I've got to keep my giant over here just to help me out a bit, I think. Binding Scrolls touch the Reaper again. Fair play. I get Hasten the Hour to do 1 wound, but he saves it this time. So he's got 5 up Fortitude, so...
Or, I mean, it's fairly easy for vampires to just recover wounds as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so. Although I'm stopping the arises.
Sure.
Because I've played vampires, like, I know, just you got to let everything else off. Tip for people: just let everything else off. If you do wounds, that's their key. Just keep raising wounds. Without raising, they can't be attritional. So,
I'm gonna start calling it Lucky-Sixes ticks.
Yeah. I also get Spectral Blades off on these guys just in case he decides to charge, because there is a charge there. And on to his turn, and he charges my breakthrough because that's what he should do. It's absolutely the right call from him.
It's totally the right call.
It was, I think it was like a 9 or something that he needed to get in. And, idiot, I could have been not as deep. I could have increased the range by another inch as well. I'm not sure it mattered, but just as a again, looking at everything. So yeah, gutted really, because that means the best I can do now is draw the objective.
Yeah.
And I was gutted really.
If you can keep his goals out, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's at this point that he goes, well, I'm not moving further down with his ghouls because then I'll be able to go in with my centaurs, and they'll turn them up. So yeah, he does move his alchemist out of the unit though, in order to spike and stuff, which I thought was very odd.
Yeah, I've got another question for you as well.
Yes.
What on earth is Krugar doing?
He's there.
Well, no, I know where he is, but why is he not shrieking horroring? Why is he not doing wounds to him?
It's 18 inches. The shooting.
Okay, that's fair enough as to why he isn't doing it from there. Next question would be, did you not feel like moving him out? I suppose she's got an alchemy mage, hasn't he?
He's got an alchemy mage. I've got no Aegis, and I need the BSB if I'm going to corner up.
Okay.
So
that's
yeah,
fair.
it's just I've done both with the BSB with Krugar. Sometimes he goes off on his own, does his own thing, because he would have been fairly helpful over on the left side.
Yeah.
Protecting that, but then at the same time, like I need the re-rolls on some of the panics if he manages to do that for like my chariots and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's he was well. Strength 5 attacks at strength 7 or whatever it is is a deterrent to everything. So
Sure.
a few reasons really, but more safe reasons than risky. But that's what I was going for. I was going for a safe small win.
Yeah. Okay.
To be honest. But yeah, so that's how it is. He does another wound or so with spear. I'm just having to let this off because all the other spells are much worse, basically. He screams at this giant and does 2, at which point I'm not too fussed, really. And just to decimate. I do 2 wounds, yay. But he just decimates me, and that's the objective. He passes his overrun thing, frenzy, and turns to face, so that I don't have a rear or anything. Excuse me. And onto my turn, so I don't go in because that's suicide.
Could both have done it?
Yeah, both of them could, but it's strength 5, and they've got a shit ton of attacks and battle focus. I think they just rip through the giants, if I'm honest.
And you say even on the charge, you'd be attacking at the same time?
Yes.
So what you're armed with the +1 strength, +1 AP?
Strength, yeah. And I'm drunk, so I'm strength 7, but they're only rest 4, so the extra strength doesn't matter. I'm fearless.
I suppose it doesn't really gain much for you to go and kill loads of them but die in return, does it? So
yeah, my attempt. So by doing this, I'm basically trying to keep my giants alive. Although, as we'll see, I did make a few mistakes, and so I won't say anything and see if you can spot them at this point.
Okay.
But, yeah. There were a few mistakes.
This is your 5, isn't it?
It's my 5, yeah.
I'm looking now for a mistake, but you still haven't got any more ambushes either, I noticed.
No, that didn't come on.
Still in turn 5, yikes.
Beast doing the beast thing. I move up ever so slightly on the right, but not too much, to be honest. And my general comes out because he's got 4 up Aegis, Destiny School, so isn't too bothered by alchemy and stuff. But he can't be screamed, so which is the main thing. I get Touch the Reaper and Hasten the Hour to kill off his alchemy mage, which is points, much needed points at this point because I haven't actually got a lot. And one of the things,
wonder if that was in line of sight.
By millimeters, but it was line of sight, and obviously from this point, and he was able to, and it's actually really close. So,
They're like movement 6, are they?
Yes. No, maybe 5. Maybe 5 actually. Maybe a bit slower. And they get in.
It's about 7, isn't it? Yeah.
Which I'm not too fussed. I'm going at the same time. I'm not too. I'm strength 6, so I might be able to get away with that. But he's moved up his flyers to go behind for later on as well. So yeah.
And he's also activated scream mode.
He's activated scream mode.
Shrieking horrors.
And so moving him there while it got out of line of sight of things, it was stupid. I should have just moved in this corner. Because I was about here, so I should have just moved down. Because now he can scream with both horrors.
This is his 6, is it?
Yeah, 6, 5 or 6. I can't remember. I think 6. But yeah, so just gutted. Literally last turn mistakes cost me some points.
Yeah.
He screams at these, kills 1, but I think I stick because I'm close to the general and BSB.
Yeah.
Kills the giant. Well, I had to do 2, obviously, but I mean, I think he does like 11 wounds or something ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Oh,
he's got 12 there.
Yeah, 12, so he does 8. So I guess he only just. 9, that is. I guess he could have rolled badly, but it's all on 2s, so.
Yeah.
But just silly of me. The worst case I should have done was leave him with 1 to scream, so it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, live and learn. And he does 4 wounds to me. I do 3 to him. He charged, and I can't remember whether I flee, so we'll see if I flee. But my turn, I get my Evo Mage, and Krugar comes out to have a pop at this. Just try and get points where I can. Oh yeah, my giant ran off. Of course he did.
Understandable, to be fair.
Yeah, of course he did. I think it's just. I mean, his leadership isn't great anyway, but yeah. I get Touch the Reaper off. I think do 2 wounds. I want to say to this,
Okay.
but I don't end up killing him off with Krugar. Krugar misses. So
on a 3-up.
I know, yeah. But yeah, and that is the end of the game.
Cagey affair.
Cagey affair that, the things I was banking on just didn't happen with.
No.
I mean, there's an argument that it wouldn't have happened anyway because he could have both screamed at my other units and panicked them off. But then it would have allowed me to go after some points if he moves his screamers away. So, yeah. You never know. But yeah, so I was a bit annoyed that my game plan didn't happen because I couldn't roll a 3-up.
So does it argue for the item that lets you re-roll your ambush? If
yes.
you're playing that game plan.
But I can't remember whether you have to re-roll or you may re-roll. If you may re-roll, then yes. But if you
why would you not want to re-roll?
Because you don't want them on turn 2. You want them on turn 3 or turn 4.
Right, okay.
It wasn't until they didn't come on turn 4. Wasn't actually
there was no issue. Yeah.
Because I was like, actually, it might be a good thing that they come on a bit later when he's moved up and committed to other things. But not coming on all is obviously the big issue. So yeah,
6 turns. They still didn't come on in turn 6.
Yeah.
So you lost the points for them as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
as good as them being killed.
So there it is, and as it wasn't too big a thing. I did get a few points here and there, but it was a drawn objective, so it went straight to points and 12-8. Which obviously, if I'd have got the objective, I'll get the win. So I'm not too displeased with how it went. First game, it was very, very cagey for Beast, but I think those the amount of screaming that could come at me with his magic on top of that, just made it force my hand. Really, I think. But yeah, okay-ish start. Good game. Shane's always a nice person to play. We chat a lot anyway about. He has a lot of modelling projects as well. You might remember from the Highborn Elf chat we had, army chat we had, that he was the one doing like boats and everything.
Boat chariots. Yeah.
And he's been on the channel a few times with demons and stuff, in bat reps and things. So yeah, he's a really good lad, really, really good painter and modeler, and I look forward to playing him on a tabletop with us. I
don't think we mentioned that this was a grudge match.
Yeah. It's because we were talking before. We decided before we knew lists. Which again, I keep doing that. We decided we were chatting and we hadn't played for a while, so we go, well, let's just grudge in TSC. So let's do it. So it was good battle. Cagey, but interesting nonetheless.
I remember looking in on this one and I was like, well, nothing's happened. It's like turn 4 and nothing's happened.
Yeah, very much so.
So I just logged out again. I was like, that's boring.
Yeah, it was.
No.
But yeah, I think he got 2 giants and a unit of chariots, and then all my stuff. I think it was only just a 12-8. It was nearly 13-7 with the ambushers not coming up. But yeah. But yeah, so there we are, and I'll move us. We can be in the middle. Look at that. Woo. But yeah, so onwards and upwards, I guess. Not the best start, but not the worst.
No, 8 points is still 8 points, mate, especially if your ambushers don't play ball.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, good stuff. Cool. So, like, share, subscribe. Hope you're looking forward to the rest of the Scottish Championship reports. Yeah, because they're going to come at you thick and fast now. With myself up next, I am taking Dread Elves to the tournament. And I've drawn up against Jeff Keeling.
Big boy Jeff.
Goes into the year ranked number 1.
Who's not playing Beasthead? What?
I know. What is that about? Yeah.
Come on.
So I'll let you guess what he's going to play, because you probably already know, because it's out there by the time we recorded this. But we'll find out in a bit. So see you for the next one, guys.
See you later.